Well, hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Sean LeRae, and it is Wednesday. So we are back from Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's each and every one of you.
Boss Talk. It's time for Boss Talk.
Oh, one of a kind.
Boss Talk. Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. 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 It's time for Sean LeRae. Boss Talk.
And hello, hello, hello. I am here with you all on a Wednesday, and we are calling it Wellness Wednesday, of course. And I just want to start out by taking some deep breaths. I have been on the move in the latter part of the afternoon. I spent the first part of the morning relaxing and enjoying it because Wednesdays I do not see clients. My day is mostly my own. And so I spent the first part of the morning resting and relaxing and chatting with my fiance. And then I got up and went wedding dress, well, bridesmaid dress shopping. And so that was kind of exciting, but it revs you up. And so when you are doing something, even though you love it and you're really excited about it, and it's a good thing, like my upcoming wedding, you can still sometimes need to kind of take a deep breath and wind yourself back down. So I came in just enough time to get ready for the show. And so let's together take some deep breaths and just relax our nervous system. So just lift your shoulders and let them drop. Lift them again. Let them drop. And then let's take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in your nose. Hold it for just a split second and then let it out of your mouth. And let's count 4 for all of that. So 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out slowly. All right, let's go in. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Let's get one more good one in. Breathing into the count of 4. Here we go. Inhale. Ooh. And to give it sound. Yes, you'd be surprised at how you can reset your nervous system. So we can, sometimes our um, sympathetic nervous system is all revved up and going, 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 going. And that's when our emotions are high and we are um, anxious or nervous or upset or angry, any of those things. And when we just breathe in and take some time to bring those cylinders, if you will, down, we give ourselves the opportunity to regulate. And much of the time, especially if you go to work and you go in the traffic, and if you live in LA, you end up dysregulating your system. And so it's good to just calm it down. And like I said before, sometimes we're doing great things and things that we love and fun things. We can still use a moment to just drop it down. So I also want to shout out Wayne Lindsay and his beautiful daughter, Alana Lindsay, who are responsible for my theme song that we love. So, Boss Talkers, tell me what's going on in your great big old world. Let's see who's out there. Ah, my sweetie's there. He says, hope you have a great show. Thank you, darling. I plan to have a great show. I have a great guest. It's very exciting. So, y'all take a minute right now and go ahead and share the link out. If you have the link, go ahead and share it out and get your people in here. All your mama friends, all the mothers that you know, get them in here because this is Mother's Day week leading into Mother's Day weekend. And so I'm very excited about that. So, shout out to all of the mothers out there, biological and otherwise, whether you birth some babies, whether you have adopted or foster or mentor or just love and adore some children somewhere. You are a mother to them. And we thank you for that service. How about that? And my guest today is going to talk to us about her journey through motherhood. And she has written a book called Supermom, celebrating all of who you are. So let's get her on here. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Siobhan Henderson, and she is an author, a uniqueness coach, a special education teacher, and a super mom of 4. She loves to empower women and students to believe in themselves to reach new heights. She breaks down barriers and stereotypes of motherhood while bridging the gap for moms from all walks of life in her book, Supermom, celebrating all of who you are. So, Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome in Siobhan Henderson.
Hello. How are
Hey
you?
there,
How are
Siobhan.
I'm good. Thanks for having
Good
me.
seeing you. Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. I'm really excited. This is a long time coming because we
Yeah.
talked about this some months before.
Yes, we
Well,
have.
maybe even a year before now that I think about it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I had the honor of doing an event with you uh, in March.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So we were at the Woman of Worth conference in Houston, Texas, H Town.
Yes.
And Siobhan was on a panel with another author, Taiwan Henderson.
hmm
And you guys told us about your various books. So that was a great time. It was good to see you. Now,
Yes.
Siobhan used to live here, right?
Yes.
In California.
Yes. Born and raised California girl.
Right. All righty.
Yeah.
So let's tell the audience how we know one another.
Okay. Well, through my sister-in-law. Yes, and my mother-in-law and family. So, yes, we got, oh, I don't even know how many years ago we met.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been a long
You guys
time.
weren't married when we met.
No, we were not married yet. No, and
I
we've been together
remember.
nearly, I think, 21 years. So it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Wow, 21 years. Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes.
I love it. So you all hear me talk about Chantel Denise, and she should be in here any minute now. And Chantel's brother, Ronnie, is Siobhan's husband. And Siobhan and Ronnie have 4 beautiful children.
Yes.
Uh, and they range in age from, is it 10 to 17?
Yes. And one, my 10-year-old will be 11 in like a couple weeks. So,
Ah,
yeah. So,
okay.
going up.
Daphne was torn between 10 and 11. She was like, I think she's coming on 11.
Right. Yes. Yes. She's almost 11 at the end of the month. hmm
Wow. That is
Yes.
hard to believe. I actually remember when all except Mari was born.
Yes.
Or wait, do I remember when Amari? You know what? I remember when Amari was born
Do you
too,
remember?
because Daphne came first.
Daphne came first. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Maury.
So I met Chantel and John. Daphne had already been born, but
hmm
Amari had not when I met you guys.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's graduating from high school this year.
Yes, he is in a couple weeks. Everything's happening this year.
Wow. And so Zoe is 11 and so she'll be in middle school or
Yes, she'll be going
he's
to middle school in the fall. Omari, the oldest, graduating high school. He'll be in college. And then one's already in high school in ninth, he'll be in 10th, and then the other one, Jasmine, will be going into high school this year in the fall.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Along with, oh, that is so hard.
So,
And I always remember Jasmine. I remember the backyard parties,
yes.
the Labor Day weekend parties. And I remember we were performing, and Jasmine came and stood next to me and danced with me and performed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Yep.
told me that later you told me that she was going around the house saying, I'm Sean LeRae. I'm Sean LeRae.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, she loved to sing, and she still does. She's going to be trying out for the talent show at school. So we'll see how that goes.
Well,
Well, it's
she's
nice because
quite,
she's
quite
good.
talented.
So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has a beautiful voice. I listened to her and Melody, and
Oh,
those two
yeah.
together are dynamite. They harmonize together, and it's so
Yeah.
cute. They turn on the TV and turn on all the karaoke songs, and they
Yes.
sing to the background tracks, and they have amazing. And I've been watching Melody go through all of her various instruments and all of that.
Yeah.
But it was so nice to see them sing together when I was there, and they are both very talented. They sound really great, and Jasmine's voice has all the timbre and the vibrato and all of the beautiful, beautiful tonality.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she's
So
very gifted. So I'm glad that she's performed once a long time ago at talent shows, but now she wants to do it again. So I'm kind of proud of her trying
yeah,
to get out of that shell again because she has the talent. She just has to break out of her shell.
yes, yes, and it's true because whenever they thought we were listening or watching, they would stop singing.
Exactly. They stop immediately. Like I didn't do anything. We're like, what are you doing? Like you're fine.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
great. That's great. So you are a special education teacher. So have
Yes.
you always done that work?
No, I have not. I actually started when I was in California at church. They were starting a new program at my church in Van Nuys, and
Uh-huh.
so they were asking for volunteers, so that way we can provide, the families who have autistic children that go to church, someone to care for their child while they spend that hour at church, and someone they know that they'll be fine and they can actually breathe and not have to worry and do all the things. And they were starting the program and felt a little tug at my heart. God was just tugging at me like, you need to do this. And I was like, I don't know, like, do I want to do this? Like, do I want to volunteer? That's a lot. But I really enjoyed it working with autistic children, and I loved it. And I could have went farther, but I was like, I'm moving. And I was like, I love it here, but I'm moving. And so just in moving, I kind of missed it because I didn't see anything here. And then I was like, well, let me look into the school system. Let me see, what I can do there and how I can help. And principal was like, hey, it's a lot of hard work and it's this, it's that. And I was like, I've done it. It's great. Like, I love it, and so just in doing that, and that kind of sparked my education direction. And so I was a para and became a teacher because I love it so much. So
Oh,
yeah.
that is really good. So essentially it was a calling that you didn't even know was out there for you.
Yes.
I love when that
it,
happens.
it definitely was a calling I did not expect. I say all the time, I tell Ronnie, hey, I think my grandmother was pulling some strings in there somewhere from the heavens, because one of my grandmothers was a special education teacher. So I was like, she had some little strings pulled in there. I was like, you don't know what you're gonna do, young lady, but just wait.
I already figured it out for you. I love that.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you
Right.
find to be the most fulfilling part of special education teaching special?
Um, well, what I find fulfilling is just when I'm teaching and helping the students, helping bridge that gap so they can, experience the education the way they need to. Everybody's different, so everybody, what they need is all different. So I really enjoy seeing them when the spark kicks and they finally get it, and then you can see that proud, like they're proud of themselves and they're happy. They don't like to show it because no one wants to be. It's like I teach junior high right now, so no one wants to be special education. They're like, yeah, no, I'm not sped. I'm like, it's okay. Like, it means you just get the help you need, and there's nothing wrong with that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just love seeing their enjoyment and their pride for what they
Mm-hmm.
finally were able to understand. So
I
I
love.
I like being able to do that for them. It makes me happy. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me a while for some kids. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to keep at you. I'm coming. I want you
Uh-huh.
to ask me a question. Like, I'm going to ask you until you finally tell me you need some help. And
Yes.
it's okay to tell me I need some help, because I've had kids where they wouldn't even ask. They would rather sit there and not get help. And I'm like, no, 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 it's okay. And
Yeah.
then I make it a big deal. I'm like, you need my help. It's amazing. Like, I get so excited. They're like, okay, that's a little much. But I'm like, no, you make me so happy. You don't understand. Like, when you guys need my help, like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I love to do. So I
Yeah.
like being able to help you with your work. Like, it's okay.
Mhm. Mhm. So,
Mhm.
are all of the children that you work with are have autism or autistic?
No, it's different. It's
Oh,
all
okay, so it's
different.
across the
Yeah,
board.
because special education is such a huge umbrella. Uh,
Mhm.
it's just different. Everything's different. Yeah. So.
Good. So, how do you find differentiating like what the student needs? Like if there's a child who has autism, maybe someone with Downs, maybe someone with another neurodivergent
Mhm.
situation. How do you manage giving everyone what they need in a bigger classroom setting?
Well, there's always information that's given to the staff, so we know what each individual student needs. And um, according to like IDEA, it's the laws that say, hey, they need this is what they need and this is what they get, and everything is according to whatever is said with these meetings that we have for regarding each student.
Mhm.
But we know whoever needs help, we know whatever their need is. And so then that way we first have to read all of that information, so then we can say, okay, now we can figure out how to differentiate what might help
Mhm.
for the student. And it just depends, because sometimes within your I teach co-teach RLA, reading language arts. So it just depends. And while we're working in class and seeing what we're doing, and I might be like, you know what, this might help them understand this a little more. Then you can kind of learn the student and learn, what you may think of what tools you have available to say, okay, let's try seeing if you can understand it this way. Let's see if this works. Then you can
Mhm.
start figuring out, because sometimes what you think they might need might not necessarily be it. So you have to
Right.
kind of help, and just it comes with learning the student and knowing and seeing what they need, and
Mm.
just kind of going from there.
Yeah, I just took off my glasses, and when you say that, it makes me think of like you have to look at each student through a different lens. Like I was looking at you
Yeah.
through one lens a moment ago. I took my
Mhm.
glasses off. Now I'm looking at you differently. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really good understanding of you have this broad group of
Mhm.
students, each one with different needs, and
Yes.
you have to look at them all differently, and you have to look close
Mhm.
enough to be able to determine what's really going to work for each student. And so
Yeah.
I applaud you because
Yeah.
that's really being present. You have to really be present with them.
Mhm.
And I imagine there must be some challenges. What would you say is a challenge to the work that you do?
Behavior. Behavior is a challenge.
Hmm.
But, being the sped educator that I am, I might see it differently than necessarily a general education teacher, because they see the behavior but then I'm like, what's the function behind the behavior? And that comes with being the SPED
Yes.
teacher. So
Yes.
what is driving this behavior? And
Yes.
is it they don't
Absolutely.
know the content, they don't understand, or is it just the behavior? Because that could be it too. You never
That's the
know.
thing
But
too.
yeah, that's the thing too. And that's for
Yeah.
any because it's sixth grade to eighth grade, junior high, sixth grade to eighth grade. So it
Oh
could be
yeah.
anything. You got all the things going on. So
It can be any and all of the above. Well, I think that's really, an important way to look at it. And I think even, you're trained to do that. And I think there should be some training for general education teachers as well, because a lot of children who have ADHD never make it to your classes, and not and necessarily don't, they wouldn't need to be in your classes, but they do need a teacher who's looking closely enough to see, okay, this kid is gifted, but this behavior is out of control. What's driving it? And a lot of times children who have neurodivergent disorders such as ADHD, maybe dyslexia,
right.
aplexia, those kinds of things, they end up in the disruptive behavior pile. I was one of
Sometimes,
the kids, and
sometimes,
yeah, and I, you know, didn't. Of course, now we didn't know what to call it. We didn't know what it was back then.
right,
But I had ADHD all day and every day
right.
on Sundays. But
Yeah. And you know what? I'm fortunate enough to be in an area where we do make sure that we find out if there's something troubling. You know, we go through the steps. You
hmm
know, I work for a great district where we're, you know, doing what we need to do and in the campus space and all of that stuff. So I'm very fortunate to do, but I do know that there are times and still I'm sure to this day where kids go, you know, unidentified because they're not looking at what's going on, but there really might be some kind of need there. And hopefully, you know, I always pray that kids, you know, if they do have a need, that they get it met, you know, however
yeah,
they are, whatever system or wherever they're at, you know.
yeah,
I always
absolutely.
keep that hope out for students. And, you know, I like to be positive. So I always like to think of the, you know, positive way because
hmm
you know, it's sad to think that they don't get it. Like, you know, especially in this day and age when there's so much that
Exactly.
is available, you know, so you hope that
Yes.
there aren't too many kids that are, you know, going through the cracks of not getting the help.
Right. Yeah. And recently we had a woman who was running for the school board per position,
Mhm.
and she still is. It's coming up soon. And I think just listening to her talk, it's important who's in the district and who's supporting the kids behind the scenes that
Supporting.
we don't necessarily think about or get an idea
Right.
of, but who is on those boards really matters. And in certain districts, it sounds like yours is good. That's a really good thing. You must have people on the board who are caring and proactive and willing to go the extra mile and all those things, and open to new ideas. Because I think to
Mhm.
try to educate kids, these kids these days, the
Yes.
way that I was raised, and be like, failure, failure, failure. It just doesn't work.
Right.
And so we have to keep up with the world, the way that the world is being run, what they're up
Right.
against as children versus what, another generation may have been up against. And so it's good that, there's somebody there that looks at all those things and puts it together.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your book. And there's a
Awesome.
comment here. Let's see. Mr. Seals, it says, I'd like to get a copy of your book. The name is catchy. Yes, it is
Thank
catchy.
you.
Supermom, celebrating all that you are. I
Yes.
love that. Now tell us a little bit about, first of all, what was the driving force behind the book? What catalyzed you to write it?
Experience. I was going through motherhood with young children and being a mom of four, and at one time a mom of three, and was getting a lot of what I felt like was negative comments from other mothers because I wasn't doing what they were doing. I was a working,
Mhm.
you know, I was
Mhm.
a working mom and I wasn't a stay-at-home mom. And I was getting a lot of negative comments. Well, why aren't you doing, why aren't you staying home? You need to be home with your kid. Like, okay, not everybody's situation is doing this and is going that way or doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And and then I started just talking with other moms and hearing that they were getting the same thing, other working mom, and I was like, this really isn't good. Like this, like we have to be the example. Like we can't like keep doing that to other women and making them feel bad, because at times I was feeling really bad. I was like, I
Yeah.
felt really bad and guilty that mom guilt is a real thing. So
Oh, yeah. Yes.
so I was feeling really guilty for what other people were trying to say of what they thought you know I should be doing, or all
Mhm.
moms should be doing, and that's not necessarily fit for every family. So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to be a writer. And at the time, I was just doing blogs where I just wanted to write because that was just a passion that I had.
Mhm.
And so it was like, I need to write a book. And so that was a little bit of the driving force. And then the Supermom came in as far as my mom and a couple other people were like, "You're Supermom." And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, don't say that." And I felt like really like, no, like that was a negative thing. And then when I really started thinking about it, I'm like, wait, no, it is not negative. I
That's right.
do everything. And so do a lot of moms out there. Like we are, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids,
Yeah.
being nurse because someone cut themselves or did something, that you have to patch up at home. You're doing all these things, chauffeur, you're driving them around, you
Yeah.
know, and I can do it. I didn't know I could do it, but God knew I could do it. So,
Yes. There you
and
go.
I was doing it with grace. And I was like, well, you know what? That's what it is. That's what being a super mom is. You're doing all these things. And, that's what drove me to write the
I
book.
love that. And I love that, you're saying that in the beginning you looked at that super mom term with a
Mhm.
negative through a negative lens. You like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to be that. That's not, no,
Mhm.
don't say that. Because a lot of times we're shamed about working, about
Mhm.
doing things. You have the people on this side saying, "Oh, where's your liberation cap? You're,
Right.
still trying to take care of your husband and take care of your family." And
Mhm.
the others are like, and work and maintain and begin a career. And others are like, "No, why are you doing that? A woman's place is in the
Right.
home." And here you are
Right.
in the middle, like, it's like double dutch. You're jumping in, you're jumping
Right.
out.
Yeah. Double dutch. Doing both. Yeah.
You know but so I'm glad that and I guess I feel like your book probably helps women to embrace that, to own it, like you get to
Mhm.
be this. And so I
Yeah.
think that's a perfect opportunity for
Yes.
opening up the terminology around motherhood.
Yes, definitely. I even brought up in my book where a mother's not necessarily defined by birthing the child,
Right.
because lots of women birth children and give them up for adoption. Unfortunate, yes, but there are women out there who can't have children, who
Right.
have all the love in the world and adopt these children and are their mothers. So I was like,
Exactly.
you are in that role, and that applies to you too.
Yeah,
um yeah, and
absolutely.
so I definitely stated that in there also.
Good. That is good. And there are those circumstances now where there are so many grandmothers who are returning to the raising of the child situation. I
Yeah.
have some clients who have found themselves in that situation, and it's not often what they want, but circumstances happen, and they
Yeah.
find themselves back to changing diapers, or
Right.
shuttling kids around and chauffeuring them, as you referred. And so
Yeah.
there's so many aspects of motherhood.
Yes.
You're so
Yes.
right.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And I love that you address all of them in your book.
Yes, thank you.
That
I
is so
try.
true.
I try to write from the heart, and God gave me the words and I used it.
Well, that's when you know it's right, when you're listening and just it flows and you're letting it go. Now,
Yeah.
I know you were asked this question on the panel that you were on in Houston when I was there, but how long did it take you to write your book?
A long time. I,
Thank you.
I don't quite know how long, if it was a year or two. And really because I was doing all the things and I just, I kind of procrastinated a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I procrastinated and try to think I had to have it perfect, everything. So, just critiquing everything, I was like, I don't know, no, so I kind of did a lot of the procrastination and the self-doubt of like, it has
Uh-huh.
to be perfect. And then I'm like, wait a minute, nothing's perfect. And so I got over it and finished it really quick. I was like, and then,
You
once
gotta
I
talk
had people
yourself back
reading
into it.
right. And then once I had people reading it, then they're like, what are you talking about? They're like, it's fine. I'm like, oh, so it's just me. So I
I
would
love it.
say about maybe a year or two at least.
Uh-huh.
It took me a
Well,
long time to
and
write,
that
but
is just fine.
yes,
Just
exactly.
fine. It's taken me a couple, let's see. I did my TEDx talk in 2022. And when I came back is when I was going to start writing again. Because I had started, I thought about it. I got a book coach
Mm-hmm.
in somewhere around 2020, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2020. And so I got a book coach. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna write. And I never did. And then after the TEDx talk, I came back just gung ho, just, oh, I'm ready to,
Right.
you know. And I often think, well, if you're speaking, you need some, you need some product at the back of the room.
Right. Right.
It's still not. And then your sister-in-law and I went to Palm Springs
Mm-hmm.
and we wrote our little hearts out. And that's all, that was the purpose of that trip. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just before I had back surgery. And I went in there and I wrote a whole chapter, loved the chapter, and then I was frozen. I was
Yeah.
frozen. I was like, "Uh-oh, how are you gonna top that? That's a good chapter. What if you don't have anything else in you?" And
Right.
so I recognized that I need to go away to write. I
Mm-hmm.
can't in my regular life that's going woo, woo, woo,
Mm-hmm.
woo, 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 woo,
Yeah.
woo, all that. It's hard for me to quiet myself enough in the
Mm-hmm.
space of all the things that are going on. If I remove myself, that's my
Mm-hmm.
focus and I can really go at it. Now, let's see who's out there. Hey, Nyla, she says, did I miss seeing a copy of the book? Well, no, but I'm gonna. You have the book there with you?
I
There it is
did.
in the
There
back
it
there.
is.
So let's go right here.
There it
Yvonne,
is.
there's the link. You can grab it right there. Now, is that a website or what is that?
It's a website. It's my website direct. So you're buying directly from me. You
Love
get it
that.
shipped directly from me and my pretty packaging. It is on
Love that.
Amazon. You can check on Amazon, but you don't get all the pretty stuff like you do when you order from me.
That's right. This is a much easier link to use.
Right.
It's
Just
right
much
there.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, more bang for your buck, y'all. That's what we
Right.
want. Nada said thanks, and she said yay. So I'm going to put that back up there for a few minutes. Y'all go ahead and get that, copy that down, and always know that you can always come back to the show and look for it here in on Boss Talk LA. So very nice, very nice. So the book, what have you been doing with, now that you've written it? What are some of the things that you've been doing or that you aspire to do with the book?
Well, so I'm in Houston now, like I said. So I've done a local event here with my books for I didn't sign up yet. I didn't sign up for this year. I know they have it. They had women's events, everything, women business owners, like a just like a selling event. What's your products? What's your services? What do you have? What's this? What's that? I
Mhm.
forgot what they called it. It was big locally. And so I did that. I sold some books. I did that just to get my name out in the
Mhm.
local area here. And I've just been appearing here and there, different podcasts. And
Yes.
that's currently all I'm doing right now with this book. But I hope to aspire to do more and get out there more.
Yes.
Super Momhood has been keeping me very busy, but I feel like I'm stabilizing a little where I can manage things and not get pulled all over the place.
Mhm.
I like to give my kids, more attention, and then I like to take my attention back and say, okay, bye, go hang out, go do something, and then have that mom
Have
time.
some time for your mommy. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed, indeed. And so, what about your husband? Tell us a little bit about Ronnie and how supportive he has been with throughout your process.
Oh, he's been very supportive. He's very encouraging. Really since day one. He's the one of the reasons I went back to college. I kind of was like, no, I was kind of going back and forth, and he encouraged and gave me the encouragement I need to get my degree, and I did all of that.
Mm,
As far as the book, um, he's just like, okay, you want to write it? Write it. That's awesome.
yeah,
Whatever you want to say, let's do it. Get it
yeah.
done. I was like, yeah,
I love
I'm gonna
Ronnie.
do
Ronnie
it.
is so laid back and so even
Yes,
keeled, and so
yes.
that's perfect. That's perfect. You guys are such a beautiful family, and
Thank you.
you have a lovely home there, and your children are so well behaved and well mannered. I always have admired that about you guys as a family, that you
Thank
and Ronnie work well with their kids and keep them. They're so respectful, and I never hear anything, un inappropriate is the word I was looking
right, right.
for. I don't hear inappropriate talk from them at all. I see good attitudes and all of that, and they're just lovely. They really are.
Thank you. We try to lead by example, and
Yes,
then
well, they reflect you guys. They really do.
yes, and then I feel like being a Gen Xer kind of helps everything. So just do here's the rules. And one thing I did learn, kids, they're never going to say they like boundaries, but
Right,
they need boundaries. They do, and they thrive when they have boundaries. So
absolutely. And they
I
want that.
learned
They
that
do.
early on.
They
Yes.
really do. I know there are some children that I have seen in my practice, and maybe they'll come in with parents who have set no boundaries, and the kids are
Mhm.
running amok and just willy nilly everywhere and doing
Right.
all the things. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to be
No,
on their own. They're doing that a lot of times to get their parents' attention.
for the attention. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Meanwhile, these parents don't get it. They don't understand that. So they're just doing a lot of yelling, a lot of taking away of the phone, and all of that kind of thing. Now,
Yes.
in your household, because I know they are still children, so I'm sure there's had to be some disciplining going on. How do you and Ronnie discipline the children?
Well, I've been, knock on wood, I've been very blessed. So I don't have to do too much disciplining. But as far as anything, maybe the phone, because I'm like, well, I pay for the phone, so it's never yours. You can
Was
have
that
it. It's mine because I pay for it. Dad and I pay for it. So if we're paying the bill, then that's our phone. And if if you don't, do what you need to be doing, then you don't need the phone. So,
mm,
first you start like that, like,
yeah.
what are you doing? Let's get this going. And I'm usually the bad cop. He's the good cop. But,
Yeah.
I feel like all moms are like that. We kind of just naturally are in that role.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
No, but they're really good. We usually take away the phone, and I don't have to do too much of it. I think only one time where they were abusing the privilege. I take it away, and I say take it away for whatever time I say. Then I have to do it, and that's one thing definitely with any child. You say what you're gonna say, you gotta do it, because then they're not gonna respect your
Right.
boundaries and rules that you set. So, if I have to take it away longer, usually that'll get it. I don't
Yeah.
think I've had to do any super disciplining anything other than that since they were like super tiny. So,
Wow,
which is
that is amazing. But you're so right when you say that if you say a thing, you have to do a thing. So if you
yeah,
say, okay, if I catch you on that phone past 9 o'clock, I'm taking it for 2 days. And then you go in the room and it's 9:15 and they're still on the phone and you say, okay, if you stay on there past 9:30 though, I'm really gonna take it this time.
right. You can't do that.
And, and then your kid is like, oh shoot, she ain't gonna do nothing. And they keep going and they keep pushing the button. They do like to have some structure. They do like to have boundaries. And you're right. Respect is everything. That's what we all
Yeah,
want. Hey
yeah,
there, cousin Brian. He says, salute to the great parents who are sacrificing for their children. Stay strong and remember it's going to work out. That
yes,
is so right. That is right, cousin. It is
yes,
important to set the tone. Yes, yes,
yes.
indeed. And Brian has some young folks in his household
Oh, okay.
too, and they're I'm on calls when he's parenting from there. Just okay, let's get that going. Is this done? All right, let's get it going. Now let's do time to brush our teeth. And they're obedient children too, and they listen well. And I just love seeing that because I get to see so much of the other side of it.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Hey, Brian. Alan. What's up, bruh? He says, "What happened to old school way?"
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I probably did a lot of the old school way when they were really little, so much so that you just have to give them the look. So he's way past the. I've only get the look. My mom just had to give me a look, and I make sure I'm like, and I didn't even do a lot of stuff because I was too afraid to get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble because who wants to hear the bickering from your parent? Like I didn't like to hear that. So that's what I like to remind my kids also. Why do you want to hear me like fuss? Like no,
Right.
like
Right.
just do it. You don't want to hear me fuss. I don't want to hear me fuss.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I think the old school way had to go away. A lot of it, the spanking anyway, the whoopings. Uh, that used to be given because they have been banned by the powers that be, the government, and people don't want to risk that. And I will always say there's a huge difference between a spanking and a beating, and all too
Yeah,
often parents are beating their children. That's a problem, and that needs
of
to be
course. Yeah.
followed up, and
Mhm.
all of that. But when you know that look is that look, as I know mama had one, grandma had one, everybody had different look, but
Everybody
you
had a look.
knew
Yeah.
them all, right?
Everyone had a look. Yes. And I remember even before, I think I learned the look,
And
even
that's
before
right.
having children, practicing on my cousin's children, my cousin's son. And when I would babysit, I'd give him the look. And you just give him the look. You learn it. You learn
Yes, yes, exactly. uh Brian says old school did a lot of damage to many people. We carry the burden of our past. Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. And there definitely was that do as I say, do as I say, because I said so, not ever having an opportunity to have a voice. And I think that it is good for kids to have a voice. Now, I think that it is safe to give your children have a voice, and they have a respectful voice because they respect you because of the way that you have raised them and the way that you've been
yeah,
going with them. But there are some children that um, don't know where that boundary is in using their voice, and a lot of that comes from the parents not setting the boundary of what that is. That and
boundary.
Yeah, and then of course there are children who will try it. The thing
Oh,
is,
they're gonna try it. All
they're
of
gonna
them will
try
try
it.
it.
They
My
are
kids
gonna
tried
try it.
it. They're kids. They're gonna try the boundaries. So
Yep.
they are gonna try it, but you have to stick to your guns and say, okay, no, like I don't care how cute they look. And you're like, that's my baby. And it might be so funny the way they're doing stuff. You cannot let that. You got like, no, you have to set the boundary because that's going to set the tone of how you're going to be raising them and how they're going to behave in society. Not just with you, but they take that behavior into society. And that, yeah, they take that into society. And, you know, you're going to be a representation of me and your
Exactly.
dad, like at home, you know, like you're representing your home once you leave out this door, you know, and that's one thing you
Absolutely.
need to do is respect everybody, especially your elders, you know, and all of
Yes.
those things. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Brother Alan says that's what I'm talking about. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. Now let's see. Brian says, respect, grow up the kids to follow your example to one day lead. Absolutely,
Yes.
because you are raising little bitty adults who are going to one day have little bitty people to raise. And so it is important to set a standard, stick by that standard, and help them along the way. And
Yeah.
I, I'm so proud of you guys for the way that you do that and do it so well with your
Thank
children.
you. Thank
Oh,
you. Um, yes,
I
I
think
say
you know
in my
this
book,
lady.
oh,
Uh,
oh,
Mama Donna Earl says, "Hey, Siobhan,
Donna,
just want to say how proud I am of you and your continued success. Keep going. Much love." Oh,
oh, love you, Donna Earl.
yes, yes, indeed.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, you were going to say something about the book.
Oh, I was gonna say in my book I state that you know, 5% is what we teach our children at home, and 95 is what is out there. But we have to make sure that, you know, what we do is we're setting the foundation because they're gonna learn everything you don't want them to learn outside of the house.
Absolutely.
But you have to make sure your foundation is strong and what you taught them is strong because they need
Mhm.
to be able to withstand and hold up and stick to their guns when society is telling them to do something else and you've raised them to do the opposite. And that's what's
Absolutely. That
so
is so good. Yes,
peer
man.
pressure is too much, you know, and
Mhm.
we've all had it, but today's day and age, it's not just surrounding. We got all the social media and
Right.
all things, so they're getting it a lot harder than we got it as children. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely you have to set that foundation in how you're raising them to be the foundation.
100%. Ah, Miss Judy, hello. It's so good to see you. And Miss Judy says, activate your faith.
Yes,
Absolutely, 100%.
absolutely.
Yes, and Miss Judy is a woman that I met. We both were on a panel for
Okay.
the Success Women's Conference back in 2021. I met Miss Judy shortly after I had lost my husband, and this woman
Oh,
is
okay.
quite an amazing gift to the world. Miss Judy found herself in a situation. She had a stroke, and
Okay.
Miss Judy was told that she would not do all the things. And
Mm.
I just, if anybody could sing the song "How You Like Me Now," that is Miss Judy.
Yes. Awesome. Well, that's amazing
Yes,
because, you know, sometimes we believe what other people say and then it's self-fulfilling prophecy. We start, you know, behaving in our body and the whole thing starts
yeah,
activating what we start believing in our
absolutely.
mindset. Yeah.
Yes, Miss Judy took the term activate her faith. She said that is what she did. She knew that in that moment she had to activate her faith, and she's turned it into a whole brand.
I
So
love it.
you better go, Miss
Awesome.
Judy. I'm gonna have to have you on, so we will talk offline, and I will get you on here onto Boss Talk. We've been saying it again for a long time, so it's time to do it. It's time to do it. Now
Awesome.
let's see. She said, "Yep, there it goes. My earbuds tried to connect. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, perfect. My earbuds try to connect. That's the one thing with pairing all the products. So
Yeah. Yes.
she says, now I have generational turnaround. Ooh, I love that. Well, we have
Love
to get you
it.
on to talk about your generational turnaround because
Yes.
we are women of a certain age. Mr. Seals said, I believe children should know the difference between civil law and spiritual law, and the parents should draw the line in the sand and make sure the children know that there is such a thing as good influence and evil influence, and know that spiritual rule rules the day. Yes, baby,
Yeah.
that is so true. That is so true.
Yes.
Well, we are coming to that time, Siobhan. I'd like to ask you what I ask all of my boss talkers, and that is what tidbits or what advice, what little nugget would you like to leave for the boss talkers today? Something about 30 seconds or so.
Okay. Build your community. If you don't have one, make sure you have the right ones around you.
Wow, that was bam. I love that. That is so true. And, I'm a big person that believes in networking and networking to work whatever it is that you are doing. And that is teaching, whatever that is, teaching, leading by example, all of those things. You need to have, like you said, a tribe and a community that believes in you and can help move your message. So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
is a good nugget. And thank you. You got that in there. Boom, right quick. I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
So let's see. So y'all know this has we have been here with you this Wednesday evening. So excited to have had Siobhan Henderson, author of Supermom, celebrating all of who you are on this Mother's Day week, beginning top of the week. And there she is. She says, hey fam.
Hey.
I love it. Good to see you, sis. Miss Judy says, yes, village elders. That's right. We are that. I love it. I love it. Well, this has been Boss Talk, y'all. And I have had on with me Siobhan Henderson. So we're going to get her information up for you to reach her. And once again, we'll put up how to get that book. In the meanwhile, this is how you can reach me, Sean LaRae Brinkley. I am the owner and executive clinical director of Living Loved Pathways to Holistic Healing. So if you need therapy, find me there. I am also the head coach in charge at Living Loved Coaching. You can find me there at livinglovedcoaching.com. On Instagram, I am at Living Loved Healing. Facebook, the same. And I also have the William Joseph Brinkley Center for Cultural Affirmation. And there you will find programming that affirms people of color, providing wellness, mental health and wellness programs and events. And be on the lookout because I will be doing Dating from the Soul on June 9th. Details to follow. And I am just so honored to have had you here with me tonight, Siobhan.
Thank
And
you for having me. I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
there's more fam out there. Hey, Johnny
Hey.
D. Johnny D in the house. And let's get some more of your information up there, your Instagram. I'm going to put that up there right now.
Yes.
And people can go and find you there.
Yes.
Now, I think I have your link tree too. I'm going to put that up because that has all your
That
goodies.
has everything. That has all the goodies.
Perfect. So we'll put that up there next. So that is Siobhan's Instagram. Let me see. Up there's all the things. So connect with Siobhan Henderson on Instagram, LinkedIn. There's her link tree, and you can purchase her amazing book, Supermom, celebrating all of who you are, at her website.
Yes.
simplistic.hearts.square.site. So y'all know what this is. This has been Boss Talk, and that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's each and every one of you. So jam it out with me. And I want to shout out my This has been Boss Talk. That's worldwide kind, sensational superstars. And that's each and every one of you. We're here every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Mountain time, 8 o'clock Central time, and 9 o'clock on that. So please tune in and tell your friends. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Boss Talk.
Y'all know what to do. Your love.